Welcome YouTube, welcome to Sin City Living. I am Jason. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons if you enjoy our videos so you can see all of our weekly content. And today I'm going to go over a strategy that we see from time to time. I'm not going to do a mathematical review on it. The math gets really complicated. And I'm not going to do a raw review of it. I'm just going to discuss it. I'm going to discuss this method, tell you how it works, tell you what people are generally thinking, and tell you what the dealers are thinking. We call this method the do-we-don't, because they are betting the do and the don't. Now, the reason people bet this on the come-out roll, a couple different reasons. One, they figure there's no way they can lose. That's not true. There's no way they can win. There's one way they can lose. So on a 7 or 11, this wins, this loses, so they push. On a 2 or 3, this loses, this wins, so they push. But on a 12, this loses, this pushes, so they lose $5. So there's no way to win on the come-out roll, only one way to lose. Now, some players will bet $1.12 to hedge their bet a little bit. All hedges are slow grind death, which is also what this method is. So that you'd be losing $1 every single roll, except the 1 in 36 times that you actually win 30. So this method is not going to win on the come-out roll, which is the most common time for a pass line to win. I mean, 1 in 6 chances, or not, I'm sorry, 1 in 8 chances for it to win on the come-out roll. It's 2-to-1 favorite to win on the come-out rolls. There's only 4 ways for it to lose. Now, once they set their point, this is where players go interesting methods. I see some players that will lay the point, in which case they did the pass line bet to hedge their don't pass in the event of a 7 or 11 on the come-out roll. The thing is, hedge bets, again, they're just slow grind. Pick a side that you want to play and run with it. Pick a side and play that side. Otherwise, you're lessening your winnings and just grinding yourself out even longer. If this happens to win, the player only wins the $10 here. Because they lose this while winning this, they've wasted their own time. The other side I may see this at is I may see a player lay odds. Take odds, not lay odds, take odds. Okay. Oftentimes I see on the 6 and 8 the player will take odds, and on the 4, 5, 9, and 10 they will lay it. Or some people will take odds on the inside and lay the 4 and 10. Here's the thing that's silly about this. Now here's what they're thinking. One of two things. Either they are thinking that this will give them a little bit of a hedge in case the 7 rolls. Like, at least I didn't lose as much. Okay, that's an interesting way of looking at it. You also didn't win as much if it wins because you cost yourself $5. The other side of this is some players don't know that they can pick it up. The don't you can always pick up. The pass line is locked in. It's a contract bet until a decision is made, win or lose. But the don't pass, you can always pick up. Now, you can't put it back down once you pick it up, but you can always pick that up. So if you decide you want to commit to the pass line side, take the don't pass away. It's silly to try and win less because you have money bet on the other side. You know, that's like that's like betting on a basketball game and betting $200 on the Lakers to win and betting $100 on their opponent to win. Because so at least I'm not losing as much if that makes no sense. So pick a side and then run with it. Now, along with the do-we-don't, what we also see, we see this one. Oh, I do want to go over one of my favorites. I've seen this once, but it was really, really, really funny. We had a player on the do-we-don't, and whatever the point would be, they would take odds, and they would lay it. The dealers and the box, the first time the player did it, we looked at them. It's just absolute utter confusion, just complete and total utter awe at the nonsensical manner of this bet. Because here's the thing. Let's say it's a winner 8, right? Winner 8. So the don't loses, and their pass line wins. What was the point of that? Or let's say a 7 out comes. So the pass line loses, and the don't wins. Absolutely no point. So throughout this entire thing, there's one way for the player to lose, and that is a 12 on the come-out roll. There is absolutely 0 ways for the player to win. 100% no possible way for the player to win any money whatsoever. 1 in 36 times they're going to lose $5. The rest of the time, nothing's going to happen. They're literally wasting time. Now, this player could possibly, if they'd had a player's card, they could possibly be just trying to game the system for comps. Now, unfortunately, that just doesn't work. What a lot of people don't seem to understand is that comps are not based on how much you buy in for. You come up to the table and you buy in for $20,000 and you do a $5 pass line bet. You are not being rated for $20,000. You are being rated for a $5 pass line bet. And if you come up and you're doing a do-we-don't, you have no money at risk. So you're not being rated for anything because you're not actually gambling. You know, you might get a $5 average bet because there's a chance for that $5 to lose. But you go laying, doing your lays, your odds, all that, you're not getting $30 as an average bet rated. You're being rated for the $5 you have at risk, if not less. You might be only rated for $1 because that's the minimum the system will allow you to be rated for. Now, aside from the do-we-don't, what we'll also see when there is a point is we will see a player do the don't come, and then whatever point it travels to, let's say a 9 rolls, travel to the 9, then the player will say, I want to place the 9. Now, once again, we're looking at him like, okay, that's a very interesting strategy. If a 7 out comes, lose, win. They pushed. If a 9 rolls, lose, get paid. They won $2. $2. Good job. Way to go. Take that, casino. You'll never take me alive. All right. So that is an interesting method that we have come across. Here's the thing about that method when we see it. There's a couple thoughts behind it. You have some players that think that they have figured out the secret to this game and how to break this game. I actually had a player like that last night on my table that was telling everybody about his brilliant strategy, and every roll I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. Well, that's why I bet this. Oh, that's why I bet that. And that's why you lost. It's not a brilliant strategy. It's a nonsensical strategy. Pick a side and try and win some money. If you're playing both sides, again, you're not going to win anything. When we see both the don't and the place bet, and sometimes we'll see a don't with a lay and then a place bet. And again, we're just looking at this like, well, this is just silly. What we tend to look at that as is sometimes it's a player that is trying to turn the table into a $2 table. It's their version of a $2 craps table or a $1 craps table, which is not something you can find around town anymore. So that's one possible reason some players do this. Other possible reason is, again, they think they have figured out the secret to dice. I'll give you guys a secret. If there was a secret to dice and to winning more often than you lose, the game would not be in a casino, because casinos are not in the business of having games that the odds are against the casino. So you want to pick a side, you want to hope for that hot roll that comes every so often. The thing about the don'ts is you can't really have a hot roll. You either have 7 out or you don't. Whereas if you're playing on the place bets or pass lines, stuff like that, you can press your bets and all that because you have numbers continuously being rolled. The other thing about this method, the do-we-don't or the don't come with place bets, that is dealers look at this and we think, okay, this is a player that either, 1, is trying to turn a table into a $2 table, or 2, is trying to game the system for comps, which means they don't understand how the system works, or 3, they think they've come up with some brilliant system and have figured out how to beat the game, in which case now the dealers are internally rolling their eyes. Or 4, the final thought when we see a player that is playing like this is we see a player playing like this and we, in our heads, know that this player is going to lock up a spot on our table for a long period of time. Because while this is not a strategy for winning money, this is a strategy for grinding, it's also not a strategy for losing. So could very well be a flea strategy where you just want to stand on the table and drink for free. Quite possibly just get your free drinks while not really risking or losing anything. In which case then it's a viable option. If that is your strategy, is just to drink for free, then this is actually a pretty good strategy, because it's the one that you're going to lose the least amount on. You might even win $1 or $2 or lose $1 or $2. But this particular grinder strategy, it's what we call a slow burn. The player is going to lose if they play for any length of time. It's just going to happen. But it's going to happen very slowly. So even someone that buys in for $100 on a $10 table, it's a good chance that player is going to be able to play this particular strategy for 3 or 4 hours. If they buy in for $300 or $400, then they're going to be on the table forever. So that is a brief discussion of the do-we-don't system, or the don't come with place bets, and why you may want to do it, why you may not want to do it, and what goes through the dealers' heads when they see this strategy. And thank you for watching YouTube, and we hope to see you guys next time. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.